What's up, Club 100? Just wanted to do a real quick video on the 3 essential no BS truths for any business. And for some of you guys that's seen this, and ladies, mainly ladies, I posted there's 3 types of women in business. The married woman that has to ask the hubby for, and that's what this video is not about. Just wanted to mention it because a lot of you've seen it, but nobody commented. You're either a married woman in business that have to ask the hubby for permission out of respect, right? Or I don't know. Number 2, you're single and focused more on getting a man than actually building an empire. Or number 3, you're a single mom and you're willing to kill everybody just to eat and support your children. So what I want to talk about in this video, and for some of y'all that are new, welcome. We have a mastermind in Oak Brook, Illinois this Thursday coming up. So be there. It doesn't cost anything. Bring a notebook, pen, paper, dress fancy. We're going to have a nice conference room and we're going to talk some business and talk shop. On this video, though, I want to talk about 3 things that happen all the time. What's up, Cito? Number 1 is don't blow the cash flow. For some of you guys that follow me online or watching me online, you know that I've been in business since 2001, haven't had a job. I've only built all different types of businesses. And for any of you guys that watch me on any social medias, know that I only watch business shows like Shark Tank, The Profit, things like that, Pawn Stars. Anything that has to do with business, I'll watch it, Storage Wars. But one of the things that I've learned about business owners, they are too busy trying to keep up with the Joneses. So number 1 is don't blow the cash flow. You're supposed to have money sitting in the bank for your business because some people assume that your business is going to produce income every single month. Not true. Sometimes we have down months, but also the reason why you need cash in the bank and you need to put a percentage of all transactions in the bank because you need working capital, right? So many businesses I see, like let's just use a salon owner, right? Maybe you have a successful salon. You've been building it now. You're on year 5. By year 10, all your chairs are old and rusty. Your equipment is getting old, and you didn't put no cash flow aside so that you can actually build the business or rejuvenate it or keep it looking fresh. So many business owners do that. Then they have to go out and get a credit line. They have to go get loans just to keep the business going or to get the business looking good again. So every time I watch these shows like Bar Rescue, they let their bars go to crap. And that's the reason why, is because they blow all the cash flow. A lot of times I see business owners, you start making a little bit of money, you have a little bit of success, and what do? You start blowing it, buying Louis Vuitton, buying fancy jewelry, who does it like sports. You see all athletes do it. They get rich and they spend all their money and blow it, and by the time they're done with their career, they have no money left. Business owners do the same thing. They don't put money away for a rainy day. They don't use capital to bring in more clients. They don't use the capital to maybe outsource and hire and take things off of them. They don't use the capital, the revenue, to maybe get better prices on products and services that you move. They just don't do it, right? So one of the things I wanted to teach in this video is business owners, don't blow your cash flow. Know where all the money's going, right? I watched the Profit. Some people have a business and make millions of dollars, but for some reason they're negative 200,000. How does that happen? Because they don't keep eyes on their cash flow. They don't pay attention to where the money goes. The money comes in, they spend it. The money comes in, they blow it. A lot of the times what business owners do is they blow it all themselves, going out to fancy dinners, buying nice cars. Who are you trying to impress? Do not buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like, right? This is your empire. This is your business. This is how you're going to build it. You don't need nobody's approval. You don't need to look fancy. You don't need to show off. The most successful entrepreneurs that I know drove the most crappiest cars. They lived in the most crappiest places in the beginning because it ain't about you. It's about taking care of the business. The business is your entity. The business is your baby. The business is your life, right? Sometimes when one of my first businesses, I would spend money on marketing before I even paid my car payment. I would pay my ads first before I would even pay my car payment. Why? Because the business feeds me. Everything that I buy, all my liabilities, they eat me. And unfortunately, that's what most business owners do. So lesson number 1 when it comes to no essential, no BS truth for Club 100 is don't blow your cash flow. Use some of the money to grow. Use some of the money to rejuvenate, right? So like for me, I don't spend tons of money, but like if I get an iPhone 12, iPhone 13, it isn't because I want to have an iPhone 12 and show off to everybody I have an iPhone 12. It's because I use it for videos. I use it for my business. That's why I do it. I don't buy a new iMac or buy an iMac Pro for my business because I just want to show everybody in my family and friends, look guys, I got an iMac Pro. I buy it because I need it to make videos. I need it for my business. But I see so many business owners, they blow so much money on things they don't need. Sometimes it's just to impress people. Sometimes it's what they think they need in the business. But if what I put my money into isn't going to give me a return on my investment, then what the hell's the point, right? Number two, the race to the top is not complacency. Too many business owners get comfortable, right? Maybe you start making your money. You have a couple clients coming in. The business is doing decent. Maybe you're pulling in $40,000, $50,000 take home, which for some of you guys might be a surprise to you. The average business owner only takes home $35,000 a year. That is it. Most of you had a job that you made more than that. But here's what happens, because business owners, they get complacent. They get comfortable. They have a business. But think about this. You have to sell to survive, right? You have to recruit to retire. Do you really think you're going to be doing the business you're doing currently and running that business until you're 50, 60, 70 years old? Are you going to literally die with that business, right? You can't get complacent. You have to recruit to retire. You have to think about scaling. You got to think about growing. You have a shop, you have a business that's doing well, right? Great. When's number 2 coming out? When are you going to open store number 3? Right? Or when are you going to recruit people to bring more business to you? Or when are you going to hire someone to run certain things in the business that you don't have to? But for most entrepreneurs, most business owners, they do everything. They're doing every single thing in the business. They never take the time to think about, hey, could I outsource this? Like one of the great things from watching The Profit, what I've learned from watching that show, is that a lot of times all these businesses want to create and develop the products in-house when they can find a distributor, outsource it for cheaper, and they can make more because that's what they do. But business owners, that's what they get stuck. They get complacent. They want to do it all their way. They don't want to grow. They don't want to scale. They want to stay where they're at. But I thought the whole point of being in a business was to become a multimillionaire. I thought the point of being a business is to be free so you could be sitting on a beach somewhere. I thought owning a business is so that eventually, if you wanted to, you could sell it and then you can go and retire. Are you really thinking that you're going to be doing what you're doing right now in your business into your 50s, into your 60s, into your 70s, right? I see people that sell for a living that are still going to Panera meetings in their 60s. Why? Because they didn't understand recruit to retire. They didn't understand the sell to survive, and they got complacent in the business. It became a job for them, right? It became a job. So now they do it every day. They make some decent money. They never try to figure out how can they make more. And a lot of businesses, they cap out at a point where they don't make any more money. Like whatever the business is, that's all it's ever going to make. And why? Because they're not trying to find new ways, new revenue streams. They're not trying to find other ways to grow the business and build it. They just kind of sit there because they have a job now. They have a business that's making them decent money. They're doing some things right. They're doing number 1, spending it all, blowing all the cash flow instead of using it for growth, right? Number 3, grow and scale or eventually you will fail. I'm going to say that again. Grow and scale or eventually you will fail. Every single business that out there, either you're growing or you're dying. I don't know because I'm not there at your business, but we all know, you know the answer to that question. You're either always figuring out how to grow it, right? Like one of my favorite quotes is, a clear vision of the future gives power to the present, right? A clear vision of the future gives power to the present, which just simply means that if you're not already building on a future, right, then that's why you're never going to go anywhere. I had a guy that actually had me come out. We looked at his business and we are showing him all these different ways to scale and whatnot. And unfortunately, he spends more of his money. He blows most of his cash flow on new cars, new houses, and new things, and wants to grow the business. But you're not even putting any of the capital that you're making into growing or scaling the business. You're kind of just sitting there because it's doing good now. It's making a decent amount of money. And instead of you trying to figure out how you can take this business from 200,000 to 400, how you can take this business to 400,000 to $1 million, you've got comfortable and you're now just sitting waiting for things to happen. Then you wonder why you're not growing because all the money that you have, you're blowing it to impress people you don't like, right? So one of the things I know in business, you're either growing or dying. You're either always evolving, right? You had 20 customers last month. Great. How do we get 30? You had 30 customers last month. Great. How do we get 40? How do we get 50? Then what happens, it comes to a point where now you can't handle that many people. So a lot of times, if you're a solopreneur, you can only do so much in the business. So at the end of the day, you have to figure out how can I recruit some people so that I can scale this thing, who can do X amount of things that I don't want to do so that I can focus all my time and energy on growing the business, bringing in more customers. A lot of times too, one of the first questions I ask people, since I do, for some of you that don't know this, I do Facebook advertisement, Instagram advertisement. First thing I ask people is how much is their prices. That's why our next mastermind in Lombard, in Oak Brook, we're going to be talking about price strategy. We're going to talk a little bit about scaling the business, because a lot of times I ask them, how much money can you make? What's the high ticket item? What's the low ticket item? And I'm trying to figure out for their business, like, how do we grow this thing? Like, or is this where you're at? Or are you just stuck at this level? For some of you guys that are watching this video, stop being a solopreneur, right? How are you going to grow that business more than what it is today? You had 30 customers last month. How do we get to 40? You had 40. How do we get to 50? We have 50. How do we get to 80? And at the end of the day, what I got to figure out is how many I can handle, because that's the number of your business. And I'm a true believer that if you're not making $100,000 in your business, you have a hobby. And if you're not making $1 million in your business, you have a job. And for most of you guys that watch me online, I've been building businesses since I was 21. I haven't had a job since I was 21. I'm 41 now, so that's 20 years with no job. Why? Because I've figured out how to build businesses, right? And sometimes I'll build a business and I'll realize that this is probably not the business I want. So then I will figure out how to find a new business, or sell the one that I have, or have an exit strategy, right? So let's do a recap real quick. Number one is, don't blow your cash flow. Every dollar that comes into your business is your lifeline. Either we're using that money to grow, or you're using that money to flash and show. It's up to you. Number two, the race to the top is not complacency. If you, wherever you're at right now in your business, and like one of the things, like when I watch these shows, the first thing they want to know on Shark Tank, first thing they want to know on profit, how much did you make year one? How much you make year two, year three? And if they don't see growth, they're trying to figure out what happened to the business. If it's not growing and the numbers are not getting higher, then what are you doing, right? And then number three is grow and scale, or eventually you will fail. Meaning, you can't do that business forever. You're going to eventually have to outsource and hire other people. You're going to eventually have to be the leader of the business, so that you can hire people that can do not the best work that you can do, right? Don't get caught up in that where I'm the only one that can do it. Well, if you do that, you're going to be doing that till you're 80 years old, right? So hope you guys learned from this video. Definitely make sure your ass is there on Thursday at the Mastermind. It costs no money. Just bring a pen and paper. Look nice, right? Look fancy. Maybe I like the Club 100 hoodie. Look nice, because we're going to take photos. It's a nice office. It's got a beautiful conference room, and we're going to talk some business and keep it real, right? Don't lie to yourself. Don't become the people that you're surrounded by. If you got four broke friends, you're the fifth. You need to get a better circle. You need to get people that are actually moving and growing. You need to associate with people that make you want to move, because if you hang around with people that are complacent, that's what you're going to become. Talk to y'all later.